Jensen Huang just delivered the most packed keynote in NVIDIA history. 7 new chips, a data center in space, a graphics technology that makes games look indistinguishable from reality, and a $1 trillion prediction that should make every investor, developer, and gamer pay attention. Let me break down everything that just happened at GTC 2026, because there's way too much to miss. So the headline chip is Vera Rubin, and it's not just one GPU, it's a full-stack computing platform. 7 chips, 5 rack-scale systems, 1 supercomputer. The Vera Rubin NVL72 delivers 3.6 exaflops of compute with 260 terabytes per second of NVLink bandwidth. To put that in perspective, that's roughly 3 times what Blackwell could do. But here's what matters more than the specs. NVIDIA didn't just announce one generation, they showed the roadmap. The Kyber rack architecture previewed Rubin Ultra, 144 GPUs in vertical compute trays, available 2027. They're not just selling you the next chip, they're selling you the next 3 years of upgrades. And then there's Grok. Not the Grok you're thinking of. NVIDIA's own Grok 3 LPX inference rack, 256 LPU processors, 128 gigabytes of on-chip SRAM. They're claiming 35x higher inference throughput per megawatt. If that number holds up in real-world deployments, that changes the economics of running AI at scale. Oh, and one more thing. The DGX Station, a desktop superchip. GB300 Grace Blackwell Ultra with 748 gigabytes of coherent memory and 20 petaflops of AI compute on your desk. That's more compute than most countries had 5 years ago. NVIDIA called DLSS 5 the most significant breakthrough in computer graphics since the original DLSS. That's a bold claim. But when you see the demos, it's hard to argue. DLSS 5 fuses controllable 3D graphics with generative AI for real-time neural rendering. Translation? Instead of rendering every pixel traditionally and then upscaling, the GPU is now generating parts of the scene using AI in real time. The result is photorealistic visuals at frame rates that were impossible before. They demoed it in Resident Evil Requiem, Hogwarts Legacy, and Starfield. The Starfield demo was especially wild. Environmental reflections and lighting that looked like pre-rendered cinematics, but running live at over 120 FPS. DLSS 5 launches fall 2026. If you're a gamer holding out on upgrading your GPU, this is the reason you'll break. This is the part most people will sleep on, but it might be the biggest long-term announcement. NVIDIA revealed 2 agent platforms. OpenClaw is what they're calling an operating system for personal AI. It manages resources, tools, and scheduling. It can spawn sub-agents to handle different tasks, and it runs on consumer hardware, GeForce RTX, RTX Pro, and DGX. Think of it as an always-on AI assistant that lives on your local machine and actually does things, not just chats. NemoClaw is the enterprise version, single command installation for secure agent deployment. Microsoft Security is already using it, and they reported a 160x improvement in finding AI-powered attacks. Not 160%, 160 times. The Nematron coalition backing this is insane. Mistral AI, Cursor, Perplexity, LangChain, Black Forest Labs. This isn't NVIDIA going it alone. They're building the ecosystem. Here's where the keynote got sci-fi. Vera Rubin Space One is an orbital data center platform, 25x more AI compute than H100 for space-based inference. NVIDIA is putting data centers in orbit. Partners include satellite companies and space agencies looking to process data in real time without beaming it back to Earth first. On the ground, Uber announced Robotaxis in 28 cities by 2028. With LA and Bay Area launching in the first half of 2027. This runs on NVIDIA Drive Hyperion, and they've locked in BYD, Geely, Isuzu, and Nissan. That's 18 million cars per year on NVIDIA's autonomous driving platform. Then Disney Research showed up with Olaf, yes, the snowman, as a physical robot using NVIDIA's Newton physics simulator. It's cute, but the underlying tech is the real story. Cosmos 3 is the first world foundation model that unifies synthetic generation, vision reasoning, and action simulation. That's the backbone for training robots that understand physics. Roche also announced 3,500 plus Blackwell GPUs, the largest pharma GPU footprint ever. AI drug discovery is no longer experimental. Its infrastructure. And then Jensen dropped the number. $1 trillion! That's NVIDIA's forecast for AI infrastructure demand through 2027, doubled from the previous $500 billion estimate. Here's why that matters. NVIDIA isn't just selling chips anymore. They're selling the platform that every AI company, every cloud provider, every enterprise, every car maker, and every pharma company needs to compete. AWS announced 1 million plus NVIDIA GPUs plus Grok LPUs. Adobe is rebuilding Firefly on Omniverse. OpenAI is now operating on AWS, a seismic shift from their Azure-only past. When the company making the shovels says the gold rush just doubled, you either believe them or you're betting against the most dominant force in tech. BlackRock's CEO warned some AI companies will go bankrupt from the costs. He might be right, but the companies that survive will be running on NVIDIA hardware. That's the bet Jensen is making, and right now, there's nobody positioned to prove him wrong. GTC 2026 wasn't a product launch, it was a blueprint for the next decade of computing. From orbital data centers to desktop superchips to neural rendering in games, NVIDIA is building the infrastructure layer for everything AI touches. And that's basically everything. The conference runs through March 19th, so expect more announcements this week. I'll cover anything major that drops. Smash like if this breakdown was useful, subscribe so you don't miss the follow-ups, and drop your hottest take in the comments. What was your favorite announcement? Peace.